and welcome to another fun-filled and scary podcast. Talking Paranormal with the old man. That's me. How y'all doing today on this Sunday? Today, we're continuing our tour of the US of A in alphabetical order, of course. And today we land into Illinois. Even though there's an S on it, it's not Illinois, it's Illinois. Just so that's your FYI for today. See, you do learn stuff here every day, right? Right. So, couldn't really find too much on Illinois. Not Illinois. um, yeah, some of them were lame, and so let's go ahead and start. Um, again, welcome. I think I've already said that. So, Illinois is, yeah. This is not the definitive list. This is not the only list. This is not anybody's list. This is just list of the not most haunted places, but haunted places in Illinois. Again, they are not listed in any particular order, and we're just gonna see what Illinois has to offer. Now, I know a few of these, so I can add a little bit extra about this. So, Illinois is packed with famously haunted locations, ranging from abandoned prisons and crumbling asylums to graveyards and historic hotels. The most notable and frequently investigated. So this is the most well-known and frequently investigated spots include the Old Juliet Prison. Can you guess where it is located at? Yeah, you're right, Juliet. So the prison closed in 2002. If they were smart, oh, and I think they are, but if they were smart, they would do like Mansfield did in Ohio, the Ohio State Reformatory, Eastern Penn in Philly. Oh God, there's other prisons. I think the Idaho State Prison, the old Idaho prison, where they opened them up for investigations. Now that'd be fucking cool. So closed in 2002. This historic, we're talking about the Juliet prison. An imposing prison once housed notorious criminals and experienced severe riots and executions. It is heavily restored and open for night and daytime tours through the Juliet Area Historical Museum. Okay, that's fine, but why don't you offer like overnight paranormal investigations? People would come, dude. People would come. I mean, we do. We go places like that. We are going, as you know, to Randolph County Asylum in July. Overnight private investigation. Just us. Just us. So, yeah, that would be so cool. So, Resurrection Cemetery in Justice. The infamous resting place of Resurrection Mary. A legendary hitchhiking ghost who asked drivers to drop her off near the cemetery gates before disappearing. Now, from my understanding, she will be walking, and again, in a white dress. That seems to be the ongoing theme here, the white dress. And she is seen walking, hitchhiking, I assume. A dude picks her up, and if I remember correctly, she always gets in the back seat, or maybe the front seat, I don't know. I'm talking on my butt. And she gives them, directions where to go. It's right in front of the cemetery. She gets out, like a fart in the wind. She's gone, I say. Now, I have heard of this one here coming up, McPike Mansion in Alton. I have heard, and I do believe that one of these ghost tour companies bought this, and they offer paranormal investigations. Well, of course they are. Known as one of the most haunted locations in the U.S., this decaying 19th century estate is famous for unexplained mist, shadow figures, and orb sightings. But let's just make this clear. Not all orbs are dust. I'm sorry, are spirits. Some of them are dust. Some of them are dander. Some of them are pollen if you're outside, or even if you're inside for that matter. So not all orbs are spirit orbs, and I think that's where people think, okay, well, it's an orb, so it has to be a spirit. Not necessarily. Especially how you can tell, okay, is this. If the orb shows intelligence, and I'm not talking about it sits down and does a freaking test. No. If the orb shows intelligence, like it comes at you, stops, and goes the other direction, or if it goes towards the camera and turns, okay. Generally speaking, if the orbs go with the current of air, like the air conditioner comes on, your central air comes on, and all of a sudden you see all these orbs coming towards you, it's probably not. Okay, case in point, and I have a little story not about Illinois. We did an investigation because, as you know, our group, the Southeast Michigan Ghost Hunter Society, and we did an investigation a couple years ago. And this fall. I'm not just rambling. Hear me out. This covers this whole orb thing. And we did a investigation. I'm not going to give too much details because I will be talking about this later in Michigan. But the person that did the investigate or owned the house, so we went out there twice. Now all of a sudden, and you know what, more power to you, but all of a sudden now she's an investigator, okay? She's a paranormal investigator. She saw us do it twice. She wanted a list of all of our equipment that we used. She got t-shirts made, for, investigations. She's seen TV shows, so now she's an investigator. Well, it takes more than that to be an investigator, but whatever. So she went to her friend's house, who had a Michigan basement. And if you don't know what a Michigan basement is, it's dirt. It is literally dirt. That's it. There's no concrete. It's freaking dirt. Okay. And she was over there filming, and all of a sudden, one of her friends walked by, I think it was, and all of a sudden there's all these freaking, and I'm using air quotes, demons, as she said it, coming after her. So she sent us the actual video and said, "What do you think?" And we're like, "Well, it's a dirt basement floor. Somebody just walked past." So it's probably dust from the dirt floor. No, it's demons. They followed me home and they caused havoc in my life and all this. I'm like, no, dude, it's not. It's probably dust. But that falls under, not everything is orbs, is spirit orbs. It was a dirt floor. Somebody walked by. When you walked by, you stir up the dust, or the dirt, I guess, which causes the dust. And that's what she caught on video. But she had it in her heart 100%. It was demons coming after her. No, it was not. So let's get back to the list. The town, I think that was Casey Kasem, America's Top 40, where he would tell, he would tell. Now see if I can get a sound bite for that, because that would be cool. That would be cool. And he said he would tell a story. He goes, "Let's get back to the countdown." So let's get back to the countdown. So the town, this is the mansion. The town of Alton itself is widely considered one of America's most haunted. The town, I don't know about that. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, that is in Midlothian, often called one of the most haunted graveyards in the country. This abandoned 1840 cemetery is the alleged site of flowing orbs, phantom vehicles, and the spirit of a white lady wandering with her child. Okay, now I have not heard of the white lady. However, I have heard of Bachelor's Grove, and we almost went there one time. We were in Chi-Town, the Windy City, Chicago, and we were going to drive out there, but it was like way the freak out there, and you had to go down dirt roads, and the drive, I believe, into the cemetery is blocked off with a gate. It's overgrown, and all of this kind of stuff. It adds to the creepiness of it, but it was more hassle. Plus, I think it was raining too, so that kind of like turned everything off. Well, the stories that I have read about the Bachelor's Grove, like I said, I have not heard of the white lady wandering with her child. Maybe, whatever. But I have heard of a phantom house. Yeah, you heard me right. A phantom house that has a porch, lights, and everything that should not be there. The house should not be there, and it's a phantom house. And when you drive by, sometimes you see the house sitting there, lights on and everything. Other times the house is gone. From my understanding, the area around Bachelor's Grove is swampy or swampland-ish. So back in the day, the mob from Chicago, i.e. like Al Capone, that's the only one that comes to mind, in the mob era of Chicago, and they would dump bodies of their victims there because it's swamp. They would not ever be found. So from what I've read, I have not experienced this myself, but from what I have read, people will see like 20 and 30 era cars driving down this road and then disappearing. So that is the mafia or the mob dumping their victims in this swampy area. I have read where people will report phantom cars behind them, like flashing their lights and shit, and then when they pull over to get out of the way, there's nobody there. Car wise, that's kind of cool. And I've also heard, or there's actually like a famous picture. I think it's Bachelor's Grove, where this woman dressed in like a 60s or 70s era clothing is seen sitting on a tombstone. So I don't know if that was real or they determined it was totally fake, whatever. And also I have heard about Bachelor's Grove where there's a horse and carriage that people will hear, horses, the horses sound of their hooves, clump, 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 clump. And that was actually pretty good, actually, clump, clump, clump. And then a horse and carriage with a rider will materialize in front of them for a few moments, and then it just fades away like a fart in the wind. It's gone. So that's kind of cool. I would like to go back there hopefully one day and check it out. Excuse me. The Congress Hotel that is in downtown Chicago, located on Michigan Avenue, it is frequently named Chicago's most haunted hotel. Reports includes shadow figures, cold spots, and an infamous ghost of a young boy on the 12th floor. Now, the wife and her ghoulie friend did stay there twice when they go to Chicago. And I get that from a movie called Outsourced. If you ever get a chance to watch it, watch it. It's not paranormal, but it's cute. It's about a dude who's being out, and his name is Todd, and their company is being outsourced to India. Or their call center is being outsourced to India. So he has to go, check this shit out. He has to go to India to train his replacement. Okay, it is a funny, if not predictable, story or a movie. But he pronounced, or when he's training the people from India to be customer service people, he goes, you have to have the accent. So Chicago is like Chicago. So they're all practicing Chicago. And then, like I said, he's Todd, and they keep on calling him Toad, as in the frog. And he tried to correct them twice, but then he's like, okay, yeah, Toad's fine. Yeah, I am Toad. He was done. But anyways, it's Chicago. So my wife and her girlfriend stayed there a couple times, and her girlfriend in their room heard footsteps in the middle of the night. Somebody walking, and I think it was from the front door of their room to like the bathroom area ish. So they was like walking across the floor, and she heard footsteps, and they've explored as much as you can explore, I guess, a hotel, and the wife said that there was a few spots where it's like kind of freaky, like you could feel that something wasn't right. And I did read about this boy on the 12th floor, and I'm trying to remember, was it he? Oh, God, I don't remember. Well, you know what? Shit, I have the internet, right? Let me look real fast. Boy, ghost, there's our Amazon coming today. That's that sound you may or may not have heard. You gonna have to type. You want me to type this whole damn thing out, dude? So what it's saying? Yeah. Tell me about the freaking kid. That's all I want to know. Okay, I don't see nothing. I'm not watching no YouTube video shit. Anyways, there's supposedly a room 2 that is haunted. Okay. So CBS. Okay, I ain't reading all this stuff here. Come play with us, Donnie. Oh, this is actually pretty interesting. Okay, so meanwhile, on the 12th floor, so I don't know who the hell this guy's name is. I'm not gonna try to say it. Says the 12th floor is supposed to be haunted by a little boy named, oh, they have a name, Carol Langer, who died a horrific death at the hotel in '39. In August of that year, Adele Langer, 43, came to the hotel with her 2 sons. And if I remember right, the hotel was built in the 20s for the Chicago State Fair, I think it was, or something like that, World's Fair, I think it was. Her 2 sons, Carol, Tommy, 6, and and Jan Misha, 4.5. They had come to the United States about a month earlier from what was then Czechoslovakia, my home country, from where they had fled as the Nazis took over. Okay, so the Langers were trying to establish residency in the U.S. Adele Langer first came with her 2 boys on a 6-month visitor's visa, while her husband, also named Carol Langer, and Carol is Karel, stayed behind and worked to try to sell their home in his textile mill of Prague, according to the Tribune. See, they need to edit this, or edit this shit. They left out a word. Okay, so I'm not gonna read all that shit. Oh God. So on this beautiful, so this was a sunny August afternoon. Miss Langer, actually it would be Mrs. because she is married, first took the kids to the Lincoln Park Zoo, and they all had a wonderful day, according to accounts. Like, who's watching them, right? When they returned to the hotel, in a room that was reported in the Contemporary Tribune article to have been on the 13th floor, but which this reporter and other sources say it was on the 12th floor, Miss Langer hurled her 2 young sons out the window to their deaths. She then she did leap out the window herself, or leapt out the window herself. The 3 bodies landed below Michigan Avenue. Damn! So the ghost of 6-year-old Carl, yeah, I guess it'd be Carl, because it's not Carol, it's Carl, is now said to haunt the 12th floor. Wow, that kind of sucks. Okay, so that clears that up. Okay, so yes, and then I have seen YouTube videos of the Congress Hotel, where YouTubers they wander, get places where they're not supposed to, and there was this one room that I guess is not rented out no more or used no more, but it's a huge hotel, and from my understanding, a lot of it's halfway freaking not being used. So Ashmore Estates, let's continue. A former county poorhouse or poor farm and psychiatric facility. Visitors and paranormal investigators report disembodied voices, heavy footsteps, and shadow figures. All right, so let's go. That was most haunted locations. That's just AI overview on Google. Now let's go to the Windy City Ghosts. The top 10 most haunted places. Well, I don't know about that. Okay, so the Inglewood Post Office. Where the Englewood Post Office now sits was once completely a different place. This site used to be the home of the infamous serial killer H.H. Holmes. Triple H. If you're a wrestling fan, you know Triple H, baby. His now demolished home was built in 1839. Holmes had several contractors build his home in order to avoid anyone knowing his true blueprint. He was a bad dude. The interior of the home was truly a reflection of madness. but it's not really saying anything about what's been happening. So I'm not gonna get involved in that. So the Chicago River, and I have heard about this. Back in 15, Chicago witnessed a tragedy of lakes which hasn't been seen since. The SS Eastland fell victim to capsizing. This incident saw the death of 844 passengers and crew of 2,500. Yeah, from my understanding, what it was the SS Eastland was rented out by some company in Chicago, and they were taking their employees and families, I want to say across Lake Michigan to Michigan, and they were going, I want to say like Grand. Oh, you know what, dude? I have the internet. Why am I looking? Why am I guessing? Right? Why am I guessing? This is the age of the intranet. I can whip this shit up to get you precisely the information. Here we go. According to Wikipedia. Okay. So on July 24th, 1915, the ship capsized while tied to a dock in the Chicago River. And I think it's just off of Wacker Drive. And there is on the bridge that crosses that area, there is a plaque. I do remember that. Construction, I don't care about the construction. Just give me the history of the goddamn thing. Modifications, listed incidents. Again, okay, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so, okay, here we go. Yes, okay. So on the morning of July 24th, passengers began boarding the Eastland on the south bank of the Chicago River between Clark and LaSalle. See, I was way off. At about 6:30 in the morning. By 7:10 in the morning, excuse me, where am I hell am I at? The ship had reached her capacity of 2,500 passengers. Many passengers were standing on the open upper decks when the ship began to list slightly to the port. Port side is left. So she was she was tied up, moored, anchored, whatever, with her port side, which is the left, facing to the north. Her starboard side, which is the right, was up against the land. See, another FYI, PSA for today. Port side's left, starboard is right. Damn, you learn something new every day. The crew attempted to stabilize the ship by emitting water into her 4 balance tanks, but to little avail. At 7:28 in the morning, Eastland lurched sharply to port to the left, and then rolled completely onto her port side, coming to rest on the river bottom. Okay, but it doesn't say where she was going to. Okay, so in the afternoon, so supposedly, they used some of the businesses in the area as temporary morgues, and supposedly those are haunted. They hear screams, and even from what I've read, people on the bridge or by where the Eastland sank can still hear people screaming. I mean, that would be cool, but people had to die. But still, it'd be kind of cool to experience that shit. Not that people died, but that you hear hear the stuff, Number 8 is Couch Tomb. Lincoln Park is usually filled with passerbys and sightseers. It is a stunning collection of outdoor beauty and scenery. But there is a dark side to this majestic park that would make anyone's skin crawl. You tell me. Way back in the 19th century, which centuries are one ahead, so the 19th century is actually the 1800s. Yeah, see? So 20th Century Fox was the 1900s. And now we are technically in the 21st century, which is 2000-ish. This park was filled with tombs. When the Great Fire of 1871, by the cow, I guess, all of them were destroyed, but all but one, that is. The Couch Tomb remained the only surviving tomb out of the devastating fire. What secrets it held remained a mystery until just recently. Oh, do tell. In 1998, a team of workers discovered that the tomb held no less than 80 bodies. Okay, why would you even be working around the tomb? Okay? I'm just asking. I'm curious. There was even an iron coffin that held a single individual. It was probably the Couch. Whoever the guy's name was, the first name, probably Couch. People often hear or often claim to report and see, this is crime. If I could read, people often claim to hear and see strange occurrences within Lincoln Park. Now it would be seemed to know why. Yeah, there's 80 freaking bodies in this goddamn tomb. It's also possible that those who inhabited the destroyed tomb continue to wander their old burial site. Old Juliet Prison. Did we do that one? I don't think we. Oh, we did. So I will skip that one. I will skip that one. Resurrection. We did that one. Going my way. My Pike Mansion. Can you give me any more information on that? No, you cannot. So let's move on. Lincoln Park Zoo. While many furry creatures now inhabit the land where the Lincoln Park Zoo sits, it was at one time the town cemetery. Ooh. You move the headstones, but you kept the bodies there. Poltergeist, in case you're wondering. So it sounds like that's the same thing here. During the mid-1800s, this land was the final resting place to thousands of residents. Here we go. At one time, more than 35,000 dead bodies were buried there. Well, I hope they're not alive bodies. Many of them had been relocated over the years, but it recently has been discovered that more than 12,000 still remain buried there. Holy crap. When this was learned, rumors began circulating that the zoo is haunted. Yeah, it's called scuttlebutt. Whether it is or it isn't, the belief is strong enough that the Lincoln Park Zoo holds event every year relating to the rumor. It draws in many paranormal lovers who hope to catch a glimpse of a long-dead apparition or two. But see, here's the whole thing. Animals can see things that we can't. So all you have to do is watch the animals. Watch the animals. I'm sure you got cameras every place. Everyone does. So, are the animals reacting? Are they freaking out? Then if there are, possibility then there's a spirit. That's all you gotta do, man. You don't have to overthink this. Watch the animals, man. Built in 26, the Rialto Square Theater. Built in 26, the Rialto Square Theater is said to be haunted by spirits who used to perform there. Ooh, nice. It's also believed that suicides took place at the theater, probably. Locals say a boy and two lovers, jumped from the balcony. As seen on TV. While the reason for doing so is unknown, okay, the theater has been the focal point of many paranormal investigations. In fact, you just ruined it for me. The crew from Ghost Hunters recently investigated the grounds. They claim it is one of the most haunted places they've ever seen. Well, of course they are going to say that because they're on the freaking TV and they want people to watch their show. So yeah, they're going to claim it's one of the most haunted they've ever been to. God, that's why I don't watch paranormal shows. Yeah, it's all about me. Many guests claim they have seen spirits wandering about. The identity of these spirits is not known, but it is believed that they are lost souls of those who met their tragic end inside. Dun, 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 dun. Bachelor's Grove Cemetery, we touched that one. Okay, here's one. It's not very long, though. It's not that. Oh, okay. So the number one is the Manteno, let's say Manteno State Hospital. Opened in 1930, this mental facility was once the most advanced in existence. Business was good. Oh yes, a state hospital. And the Manteno State Hospital, mental hospital, took care of many who suffered from mental illness. But a lot of times though, dude, it's like, and I call it everybody dude, or dude that if you're a chick. From my understanding, if a husband was getting tired of his wife, for whatever reason, nagging all the time maybe, who knows, right? You could drop him off at a state hospital, a state mental hospital, say that she has mental illness, and they had to take her in, man. Can you imagine that shit? No, don't get a divorce. Send her to the mental hospital. That's a lot more worse than getting a divorce. For her, holy Holy shit. So those who couldn't get proper help elsewhere, yeah, came here in hopes of having their lives changed for the better. All was going well until tragedy occurred. In 39, typhoid ran roughshod, rampant, I guess, through the hospital, killing 47 of his patients. Since that day, the Montana State Mental Hospital seemed to implode on itself. Patients kept piling in to the point that it soon became overcrowded. With too few staff to look after everyone, malpractice quickly followed. Well, yeah, patients patients were dying left and right, forcing the hospital to forever close its doors in '85. Since it has been turned over, ooh, oh, okay, check this shit out. It has since been turned into a veterans home, but the lingering souls appear to have never left. Well, no shit. Cold spots, strange sounds, and eerie occurrences keep everyone on their toes. Okay, I am a veteran. I'm not making fun of veterans whatsoever. But you have a state mental hospital that obviously, bad stuff happened. Okay, patients were treated like shit. Experiments, I'm sure. It's turned into a veterans home. You got veterans that have PTSD. Okay, again, I'm not making fun. I am a veteran myself. They have PTSD. They have mental health issues, maybe alcohol issues, drug issues. And you're putting them into a former mental hospital? That's a recipe for disaster, guy. Oh my God. Can you imagine some of the shit that these veterans are seeing? Oh my God. It's going to make their conditions 10, or it could possibly make their conditions 10 times worse. So, yeah, that was not a brilliant idea by whoever decided to do this was not a good idea. Okay, so basically, okay, so now that you have explored the charming streets and shadowy corners of the Prairie State, I guess that's what Illinois' nickname is. Do you feel brave enough to explore? Oh hell yeah! Behind the lively energy of the cities and towns lies a world of ghostly tales and lingering spirits. Stories whispered through the halls of abandoned hospitals, the velvet-draped seats of old theaters, and even the terrifying remains of H.H. Holmes' infamous murder house. From grand mansions to crumbling hospitals, haunted houses in Illinois, not Illinois, come in all shapes and sizes. You'll never guess what some buildings have witnessed. Well, yeah, well, obviously. Some restored to beauty, others left to rot, and some torn down, but all echoing the past. If this gave you chills, it didn't do, it's kind of lame, and you want to even explore more haunted locations in Illinois, check out our blog for more spooky stories. Yeah, advertising yourselves. Okay. I appreciate the list and stuff, but I need more, as an investigator myself, I need more details other than cold spots or orbs. Tell me like more interest, like room 200 in the Congress Hotel. They will not run it out no more. Shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So anyways, if you're interested, I do have 2 YouTube video reaction channels. One is called, can you guess? Talking Paranormal with the Old Man. And that is, I react to video clips from the internet. Yeah. And then the other one is, and I hope you're interested, everyone likes music, musical chairs. That's where I react to music videos. And go and give it a shot. I play stuff that I like. I play stuff that people recommend me liking, and so far I have. So yeah, please go and go to my YouTube channels, reaction channels, musical chairs, and Talking Paranormal with the Old Man. That's me. And you can see the ugly face behind the really bad voice. Seriously. Yeah, so I mean, you don't have, it's free. Just go to YouTube and search for musical chairs and search for Talking Paranormal with the Old Man, and I will pop up. I would appreciate it very, very, very much. So that's it for today. And again, we're doing Randolph County Asylum, July 18th, and hopefully I'm going to hopefully try to go live. I don't think we can do live on the podcast, but I am going to go live hopefully on the YouTube channel that we have. Hopefully, yeah, it'd be kind of cool. So yeah, and then possibly Facebook too, because we do have a Facebook page. Well, we have 2 Facebook pages. Talking Paranormal with the Old Man, and that's me. And then also our group, Southeast Michigan Ghost Hunter Society, has a Facebook page, and I would probably try to go live on there too. Because we are there for like 16 hours, dudes. It's going to be a long day, a long night. But hey, you know what? You're hunting the paranormal, and time flies by, and it's fun as shit. So, with that being said, thank you for listening. Have yourselves a great day. Whatever you're doing, if you have to work, I'm sorry, it sucks. I've been there before where I had to work every holiday and weekends, and it sucked balls. So, enjoy your day as much as you can. If you're going to the beach, have fun. If you're going to the city, be safe. And until we meet again, bye-bye.
I'm sorry, but the person you called has a voicemail box that has not been set up yet. Goodbye.